What was your reaction to what you were hearing today about war crimes at the United Nations, both from President Zelensky as well as the French deputy ambassador and others?
Well, Lawrence, I'm gratified that we're all talking about it in such a serious way now. As you know, for more than a month, I've been having war crimes on my mind and thinking that's where this would go. And I've been upset with France. I've been upset a bit with the United States because I don't think we can ignore the images. And I don't think we can ignore like the video you just showed us. And I say that as someone who's a prosecutor in the George Floyd murder, having seen the Darnella video more times than I can recount. But this is horrific and wrong. And so I'm glad to see the progress. And at the same time, I want to caution these war crimes prosecutions are really hard. I spent a long time trying to build one at the Justice Department in a different context. They're incredibly hard to do. And so there are two basic problems. One is kind of who can actually prosecute, who has a jurisdiction to do so. And the second is how do you prove up the crimes against particular defendants? So just to start you with the first, how do we prosecute? How would these be prosecuted? There are three basic possibilities. Ukraine itself could prosecute, the International Criminal Court could prosecute, or possibly the United States can. Ukraine itself is kind of the preferred mechanism. That's the way in which international law operates. Even the International Criminal Court defers to that. So that's possible. And the Ukrainian prosecutor, Irina Venediktova, has already said she's opened an investigation. And as Mr. Klemko from the Washington Post reported, there are as many as 50,000 investigators in Ukraine doing that. The harder one is the International Criminal Court, because many of the mechanisms available to that court don't really fully work in this context.
There are many captured Russian soldiers in Ukraine right now. Presumably some of them as individuals, if the evidence dictates, could fall under Ukrainian prosecution directly for these war crimes. But what would be, it seems to me, the scenario for Vladimir Putin ending up in serious jeopardy here would be the collapse of the regime. And we have seen that kind of model before where the regime collapses and they basically hand him over, in effect, or let him become taken in for one of these trials.
That's exactly right, Lawrence. There's a lawyer problem and then there's a practical problem. The lawyer problem is, is it a crime? Can you prove that the person at the top is the one who actually ordered the war crimes? And often, these types of thugs at the top, and, we've talked about in other contexts over the last 4 years, are very good at insulating themselves and operating through hench people. But, that can probably be surmounted. The other problem is you got to actually have physical custody over the person. Now, the International Criminal Court was able to get that in certain contexts, like Congo and the like. Milosevic also brought to justice in that way. But you do have to have physical custody in order for a prosecution to have any real meaning.